Okay, so after watching Heated Rivalry, I did come across, I would say, about five specific things that I really enjoyed and I liked about the show. And I'm going to reference those as the gems of Heated Rivalry. The first gem is they have relatively unknown actors as the lead. I absolutely enjoyed that because you have fresh faces, you have fresh perspectives on how the role will be acted and how the characters will come to life on screen, and just the dynamic between two different people. You get tired of the same I get tired of the same white man who gets the same lead. Like, I don't want to see any more Brad Pitt lookalikes or Leonardo DiCaprio, or even up and coming people who are still great. You want to see other people who are just as hungry, just as much drive, if not more, and they're still trying to make it. Like, yes, I would love to see the actors that was just working at the coffee shop last week and they got put on and this is their first big role. And I love that about Heated Rivalry, especially with the leads of Shane and Ilya. Now, the second gem of Heated Rivalry most definitely are the love scenes. The love scenes are they're hot. They're smoldering. They're erotic. They're raunchy. They're cunty in a way, especially that scene from the second episode when I believe it was after whatever MVP award, when Shane is on the bed and he's telling Ilya how he needs him and he crawls on the bed to him. Everything about that was just so carnal, and I loved it. It was intoxicating. I ain't gonna lie. I really enjoyed it. And what made it so enjoyable is that with these love scenes and a lot of the, I would say, new gay series, the love scenes are a lot more receptive and vulnerable, but also Ilya in this, he's assertive yet he's patient and attentive. And even when the scenes are as carnal as they want to be, it still has an approachability to it, and it allows it to be sensual and enticing without it feeling forced. Because I will say, watching older gay love stories, it always felt a little bit like just bend over and take this dick. Whereas in shows like this, it's like, no, I wanna put this dick on you, if that makes sense. And so I think that that ties into the next gem of the show for me when it goes into the love scenes, the prioritization of safety. I absolutely appreciated that even in those moments where you can feel the desire and it's almost like is consumable, especially from Ilya's perspective. He's always, especially in the beginning, knowing that this was Shane's first time with a man, you could tell that he wanted to be with Shane. Like, he really wanted to have sex with that man. He wanted to fuck him. But he knew he would be uncomfortable, and he put his safety and his vulnerability first before he went heads on into the sex and the love making, because that also will have an impact on how Shane will feel about their relationship and how he will feel about their sex life. And before they actually had sex, they waited 2 years. That lets you know Ilya wanted that man bad, just like Shane wanted him bad, but their schedules didn't line up. But also, they were put off because Shane wasn't as comfortable the first go round, and Ilya made sure that that was prioritized, and I genuinely enjoyed that. So the fourth gem that I would say, it also coincides with the love scenes and the prioritization of safety, is the nuance of sensitivity and masculinity within this relationship with Ilya and Shane. I enjoy that even though Shane is a little bit more vulnerable and more reserved in their relationship, it doesn't feel as if someone is playing a woman or someone is playing a man. And a lot of times in gay or queer relationships, they still feel as if they have to model heteronormative and heterosexual relationships where there has to be a man or it has to be a woman. And I think that ends up putting a lot of stress on relationships and bringing in a lot of toxicity to it. It doesn't need to be there. If it's two women or it's two men, you know, just approach it from that. You know, it's two men together, two women together. It doesn't mean that one person has to take the submissive or the dominant. No, you just show up where the other one is weaker, or you learn each other's strengths and weaknesses and you adapt to that. And that nuance and masculinity in this show, they were open to one another. I love the kissing. And that's another thing that I would say is relatively newer in gay love scenes and just gay relationships. There's a lot of face to face, not just, you know, I'm gonna hit it from the back. There's a lot of missionary in these scenes, and missionary just in how they approach each other. There's a lot of face to face, a lot of kissing, a lot of touching, a reassurance of, I want you close to me. I enjoy being around you. And I think that's a good thing to see, because for a lot of men, cutting that sensitivity off, and whether they're with a woman or a man, they feel like they can't lean into that. And the last gem that I would say of Heated Rivalry is the supportive family and friends. Like I had said in my analysis, I think a lot of the anxiety around their relationship is what Shane and Ilya themselves are putting on their relationship, which comes from outside sources. Of course, when it comes to Ilya and his family, they're not supportive of him, and of course, they wouldn't be supportive of his relationship and his lifestyle and who he loves. But with Shane, we don't get that. I mean, of course, we get his mother is very hands on with his career, to the point that I do feel as if that played a part in him wanting to be reserved in his approach with his sexuality. But at the end of the day, I think they both have such supportive friends and loved ones around them. Ilya has Svetlana. Shane has Rose, and he has Hayden in his family, and also Scott and Kip. Kip has his best friend, and also the relationship with Scott and Kip. I also love their relationship. I also even love the aesthetic of it, with Kip being a lot shorter and Scott being taller, even though it has that aesthetic of, you know, male female. It still felt as if, you know, they both, there is a dynamic with Scott being a lot more well off than Kip, but in physicality, and do I think in the hard core, not the hard core, but the tactile pieces of their relationship, I do feel as if it probably will be a lot more balanced. But let me know what you think of these five gems. Leave it in the comments if you have any difference of opinion or some other things you might have picked up. And thanks for listening. See you next time.